cover this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Harry. Thank you for the welcoming words. If you can only please share my presentation. Before we start, just I want to say hello to everyone and thank you for taking part in the second series of India and Israel healthcare webinar. As Hari Krishnan mentioned, I'll be replacing Barak Granot, Mr. Barak Granot, the head of the Economic and Commercial Mission to New Delhi this September. He'll be finishing his tenure and I'll be starting mine. So this is also a great opportunity to meet you all and to see in person. I would just like to give a quick presentation about the Economic and Commercial Mission to New Delhi. Who are we and what we do? And of course, say a special thanks to Hari Krishnan from ICE-xpo for conducting this event together with Indian Medical Association and AMAD, and of course, also a special thanks for Tejinder from my team, Mr. Jinder Singh, for taking a very big role in making this event happen. So who are we and what we do? Next slide, please.
One moment, I just went on to make it in the broadcast mode. Resume share, yeah, we are on there. Yeah, please.
Perfect, thank you. So who are we? Basically, we are part of the Ministry of Economy and Industry in Israel. We are part of the Foreign Trade Administration. Next slide, please. Who is the Foreign Trade Administration? Foreign Trade Administration basically has 4 different main divisions. Export Control Agency, who is responsible for the implementation and enforcement of export control regulation with dual use items. We have the Export Promotion Financial Tools for SMEs in FTA, providing support and different programs for companies and their businesses operating abroad. We have the Division of Trade Policy and International Agreements, who is basically responsible for all the free trade agreement negotiations, as well as some regulatory barriers that affect Israel industry. And the biggest division of Economic and Trade Missions Abroad, who works to ensure the continued development of Israel's export. Next slide, please. So here you can see Israel's free trade agreements. We have 9 signed agreements in force. Some of them are a few years back. Some of them were renewed in past years. And we also have 6 negotiations going, 6 agreements going under negotiations. With India, we have a negotiation going in the past 10 years. I actually was part in some of the negotiations before, and I can only hope we will finish those negotiations as soon as possible and we'll have a free trade agreement, hopefully. Next slide, please. So FTA, Foreign Trade Administration headquarters are in Jerusalem in the Ministry of Economy and Industry, but it operates 43 different economic and trade missions worldwide, where those missions are specifically focused on supporting Israel's international trade and trade policy, as well as promoting economic collaboration. Next slide, please. As I've mentioned before, I'll be replacing Mr. Barak Granot, who will be finishing his tenure this September as the head of the Delhi Economic and Commercial Mission. The Delhi office is responsible for all North India territory. We have another 2 different commercial offices within India. One is in Mumbai. Mr. Sagi Icher is the head of this office, and one in Bangalore, and Dr. Shai Moses is responsible for that office. Next slide, please. Well, here you can see the fantastic team of the Delhi office, works meticulously on promoting the bilateral trade of the 2 countries. Just a fun fact, combined, you're looking roughly on over 70 years of vast experience in various sectors, such such as energy, agriculture, water, smart mobility, homeland security, cyber, medical equipment, and healthcare, of course, etc. And some of you are probably familiar with Mr. Tejinder Singh, who, by the way, as I mentioned, is responsible for also making this event happen. Next slide, please. Here you can see all the entities that we're representing in India and our close partners in Israel. Not all of them obviously have offices within India, so we're making sure that we promoting them and working closely with them. Partners like Israeli Expert Institute, Startup Nation Central, Fuel Choices Summit, Ministry of Health, Innovation Authority, and so and so. Next slide, please. So next two slides, I just want to give you a few very basic statistics on the mission's work. Here you can see the massive increase in requests arriving from Israeli companies in the past years. Personally, for me, it's an indication for the great potential that lies between Israel and India and the bilateral economic relations for both parties. And at the next slide, you could see all the success story breakout by sectors. So you can see how many success stories in percent we had in medical equipment, how many we had in agriculture, water, and so on and so on. So these are just fun facts to give you an idea of what we do in the mission. By the way, success story means that it's a signed export deal or an investment made between the two parties. And the last slide, thank you, Hari. So bottom line, what are the services that we can provide for you? As so we can make an introduction to relevant business partners. We're providing professional information on different business opportunities. We're able to arrange B2B meetings if it's within exhibitions, if it's by delegations, market visits, nowadays Zoom, obviously, but hopefully we'll be back to the back normal someday soon. We can provide scouting process for both parties, both sides, and obviously connection with government entities in Israel or in India. As we're part of the Israeli government, the great thing about us is that our services are given without any charge and that we're completely impartial. So I invite companies from both sides to reach out to us for any matter or any assistance required. And that's it from my side. Thank you.